Hi there. Come on in, take your seat. This is The Flower of Freedom by Deborah J. Reeves. All rights to the book and presentation are reserved. This is chapter 104, Connecting the Dots. Please settle in, and we'll begin. As they pulled up behind the office block, the gendarme from Paulette's case arrived almost simultaneously. They went together, and Aki said, "Why was Francois' office preferable today?" Call it an abundance of caution from an old paranoid cop. I just never like to be predictable to the bad guys. They are smarter than most people like to pretend, and they have the money for the highest levels of technology. Keeping them guessing just feels right, even if you're not sure that they're watching, he said with a shrug. Francois ushered them into the seats, and Aki introduced them. "Francois, this is Inspector Cloutier. He was the gendarme who helped me through Paulette's murder." "Bonsoir, Monsieur Gagnon. Thanks for agreeing to meet with us today and for allowing us to use your premises." Francois nodded and he shook his hand, saying, "Thanks for coming, Inspector. Aki and I have personally arranged the call with the Canadian lawyer and police officer at the number you gave me. It's all arranged for 12:15, which is 8:15 their time. They are eager to share all that they have gathered, and they are expecting us to share what we have learned. I have no idea how long the call will take, but I have made a reservation at my favorite place for lunch for the three of us at 1 o'clock. They know that we cannot predict exactly when we will arrive, because we have no idea when our meeting will be complete, and they are happy to be flexible. Can we count on your company, Inspector Cloutier?" "Sadly, no. I will be expected at the precinct to report the information that we collect today." "Oh, that's too bad. Perhaps you will agree to a meal another time." The phone rang then, and Francois pushed a button to put it onto speakerphone. "Good morning. Aki, it's Jean-Claude here with my friend RCMP Inspector Richard." "Thanks for being so prompt, Jean-Claude. I have my friend Francois Gagnon here. He was the one who collected most of the information that we have, and Inspector Cloutier, the gendarme who pursued the investigation into Paulette's murder. If you don't mind, I'm going to have Inspector Richard share the most recent developments from this end. Go ahead, Inspector Richard." "Good morning. Thanks to the superlative work of my colleague in Paris, Inspector Cloutier, we've been able to set up surveillance on the incoming communications from Argentina to Montreal pertaining to one Hans Schmidt, known war criminal. We have long known that there is a private investigator in Montreal who was willing to work with the seediest of characters. The man washed out of the local police service when his superiors suspected that he was informing crime syndicates of impending raids. He quit rather than face the music, so we have no illusions about him. A joint investigation on organized crime with the Americans revealed an unknown contact requesting a birth certificate of one Bertrand Celeron. We intercepted the request to the Canadian government, and P.I. Pissard will receive an official appearing birth certificate, but we have intervened to have it state an incorrect birth date, and his middle name will be slightly misspelled. The idea is to make it appear that they are operating without attention, but should they act on that information in any way, we will have evidence of the source." "Inspector Richard, did you say that the private investigator was named Pissard?" Aki said with a gulp. "That's the name of the man I used to track down Anne-Marie, and he eventually found Marie. What a hornet's nest." "Inspector Cloutier here. This might not be a bad thing. If Pissard thinks he is a step ahead and that the business he's conducting is easy money, he may be careless and less suspicious. We might be able to find a way to help draw him in and get Hans Schmidt on the hook before he causes more pain. I agree, said Inspector Richard. Now, I would really like and value an update on what Inspector Cloutier has uncovered. I have a whole laundry list of connections that would make for boring conversation. This morning, I put it all into an envelope addressed to you, Inspector Richard, at the Montreal RCMP offices. I sent it priority, but it has no identifying marks on the envelope to ensure that it gets into your hands. Be on the lookout for it. It should arrive within the week. Forgive me, but after all the collaborators we experienced in Paris during the war, I'm a bit paranoid. Appreciated and understood, said Inspector Richard. The four men went on to discuss other things that one or another of them had uncovered, and the phone call lasted about an hour. Afterward, Francois and Aki went out to lunch, and Inspector Cloutier went back to his office. The private surveillance team that had turned off when they saw Aki's driver turn into his office building, and their wiretaps, caught nothing from Akil's home or office that day. That's the end of this chapter. We look forward to seeing you again for chapter 105, called Dreaming Big. I remain your friend, Deborah, and I sure hope you have a wonderful day.